Somewhere in Europe, a German man named Joachim Fersengeld sat down and decided he had something very important to say to the world. The problem was, he didn't particularly want the world to hear it, so he wrote his grand prophecy in Dutch, a language he barely spoke. He had it published in France, a country he described, with a kind of affectionate contempt, as notorious for its terrible proofreading. The title he gave it was Pericalypsis, a word he invented himself, a twist on apocalypse, and the difference between those two words, as we'll soon see, is the entire point. Nobody was going to read this book. Nobody was going to understand it. Fersengeld knew this. He counted on it. In fact, it was part of the plan. Let's start with the trash. Look around you, not metaphorically. Actually look. It's a wrapper from your lunch. The plastic bag your groceries came in. The cardboard box your new headphones arrived in, nestled inside another box, padded with foam that will still be sitting in a landfill when your great-grandchildren are old. Fersengeld noticed something about all of this that most people don't think about. The products we buy are designed to fall apart. Your phone becomes obsolete in 2 years. Your fast fashion jacket unravels by winter. Your snack is consumed in 3 minutes. But the packaging? The packaging is forever. This is the central madness of modern civilization, according to Fersengeld. We have engineered a world where the thing itself is disposable, but the shell it came in is indestructible. The product dies quickly, which is great for business because you have to buy a new one. But the packaging piles up and up and up, demanding armies of engineers, waste management programs, recycling initiatives, environmental agencies, international climate summits, and still, somehow, we are losing the battle against our own garbage. Once upon a time, the planet took care of its own mess. Rivers washed things away. Winds scattered the dust. Rain cleaned the streets. Earthquakes crumbled the ruins. But now, the rivers are poison. The air burns your eyes. The rain is acid. The winds carry industrial soot. And plastic containers, being elastic, survive even earthquakes, bobbing cheerfully in floodwaters, outlasting the very civilization that created them. The natural world, Fersengeld says, used to be the rule. Wild forests, clean oceans, open skies. Today, nature is the exception. The natural reserves we protect so carefully, those patches of forest, those national parks, those marine sanctuaries, are just tiny islands of what used to be everywhere, fenced off and labeled like museum exhibits while the garbage spreads around them. We bustle through the ruins of our own making, eating, consuming, unwrapping, discarding, and then briefly, urgently, having sex, which is really just the last truly natural act left. And even that, Fersengeld points out, has been wrapped in packaging: perfume, lingerie, roses, lipstick, advertising. Even desire comes in a box now. So far, so bleak. But Fersengeld is just warming up, because the same thing, he insists, is happening to human thought. The machine of civilization, that great grinding worry engine of production and consumption, has turned its gears on the mind. It has become, as Fersengeld puts it, a mechanical milker of the muses. And the result is the same as with the packaging: an overwhelming, suffocating, catastrophic abundance. Think about how many books are published every year. Every single year, hundreds of thousands of new titles flood the bookstores, the libraries, the internet. Hundreds of thousands of films. Millions of articles, think pieces, blog posts, opinion columns, social media threads. More music than any human being could listen to in 1,000 lifetimes. More art than can hang on any wall. More ideas than any mind can hold. Here is Fersengeld's terrifying thought. Somewhere in that ocean of noise, the great works already exist. The books that could genuinely change humanity, that could heal something broken in us, that could offer real wisdom, real revelation, have already been written. Mathematically speaking, given the sheer volume of intellectual labor being done, it would be almost impossible for them not to have been written. But nobody will ever find them. They are buried. Buried under the strata of everything else. Buried under the celebrity memoirs and the self-help guides, and the airport thrillers and the academic papers nobody reads, and the trend pieces and the hot takes. The pearls are at the bottom of the ocean, and the ocean is made of garbage. This, says Fersengeld, is not a prophecy of things to come. This is a retrophasy, a recognition of something that has already happened, that happened quietly in the background, while everyone was too busy consuming to notice. The apocalypse already occurred. We just missed it. We're too distracted to attend our own ending. That is why he calls it Pericalypsis, not apocalypse. The fire didn't announce itself with trumpets. It was a slow smothering under the weight of everything we made. Now, here is where Fersengeld becomes genuinely, magnificently unhinged. Because he has a solution. He wants to set up a foundation. It's a massive $16 billion fund sitting on a gold standard, drawing 4% interest a year. And from this fund, he wants to pay every creative person on Earth a generous annual stipend. On one condition, they must create nothing. Painters who put down their brushes paid. Writers who close their laptops paid. Inventors who stop inventing. Composers who stop composing. Architects who stop designing. All of them paid comfortably $36,000 a year simply for their blessed, merciful silence. The moment you create something, the payments start to shrink. Publish a book, your stipend drops. Patent an invention, less money. Write 2 books in a year, nothing. Write 3, you actually owe the foundation money. Creation, under Fersengeld's system, becomes financially ruinous. The logic is elegant and deeply strange. Under this system, the only people who would still make art or write books or develop new ideas would be those who genuinely couldn't help themselves. People who loved creating so purely, so selflessly, that they'd do it even at personal financial cost. The mercenaries, the hacks, the producers of comfortable mediocrity, they'd take the money and stop. And the world, Fersengeld argues, would be left only with the altruists of the spirit. But wait, you might object, what about ego? What about the hunger for fame, the desire to be remembered, to have your name attached to something great? Money isn't the only motivation. Some people create because they want glory. Fersengeld has thought of this. Under his system, all creative work must be submitted anonymously. No names, no bylines, no author photos, no acclaimed novelist or visionary filmmaker. You make something, you release it into the world without a signature, and you walk away. If you're the kind of person who needs credit, you'll stop creating. If you're not, you'll keep going. To enforce all of this, Fersengeld proposes a new police force, calls it the Anvil, the Anti-Creative Vigilance League. The Anvil's job is to hunt down illegal creators. Anyone caught secretly writing, painting, inventing, or even whispering a new idea in public. For the purpose of gain or glory, faces prison time, forced labor, and for repeat offenders, confinement in a dark cell with a hard bed and an annual caning on the anniversary of their crime. The most serious offenses, smuggling genuinely dangerous ideas into society, ideas whose impact on human life has been as catastrophic as the automobile, the television, or cinema, carry the death penalty. Or, in a more creative punishment, a life sentence of being forced to use your own invention. Imagine the man who invented the leaf blower, condemned to spend eternity operating one. Those who create without seeking money or fame, the compulsive, the graphomaniacs, the people who simply cannot stop writing, are treated more gently. They are classified as mentally disordered, which is probably accurate, and placed in comfortable institutions where they are humanely supplied with as much ink and paper as they desire. They can create to their heart's content. Nobody will ever read any of it. And yet even all of this for Fersengeld is not enough, because there remains the problem of everything that has already been made. All the accumulated creative output of the 20th century, every book, every film, every magazine, every newspaper, every scientific paper, every musical score, every postage stamp with a little picture on it, all of it sits there, rotting, a mountain of half-brilliant, half-garbage production that nobody can sort through. Fersengeld's solution is simple. Burn it, all of it, in one go. A single, enormous, civilizational bonfire. Every library, every archive, every film negative, every server farm full of digitized text. A clean slate. Yes, he acknowledges, this will also destroy the great works, the ones worth keeping. But you cannot keep the great works without also keeping the garbage. And the garbage outweighs the treasure by such a catastrophic margin that the great works are functionally inaccessible anyway. You're not losing them by burning everything. You've lost them long ago. He notes, almost as an aside, that this bonfire would also destroy all knowledge of atomic energy and nuclear weapons, eliminating the threat of nuclear war. He seems to consider this a bonus. He is perfectly aware, he says, that burning books is evil. The Nazis burned books. But the Nazis burned books for reactionary reasons, to suppress, to control, to frighten. His bonfire is different. His bonfire is progressive, redemptive, a fire of hope. Whether you find this convincing is left as an exercise for the reader. And then, on the very last page, Fersengeld makes his final move, the one that justifies the whole strange enterprise and reveals it as something closer to performance. Art than political philosophy, he tells the reader to tear up the book, burn it. Right now, this very copy in your hands, rip it apart, set it on fire. So true prophet must be consistent, and if all creative work must be destroyed, then this book, his great warning, his life's work must be destroyed too. And so, Pericalypsis ends by asking to be unmade. This, finally, is what Lem found so funny and so worth writing about. Here is a man who believes so completely in his own ideas that he follows them to their logical conclusion. And the logical conclusion is his own silence, his own erasure, his own disappearance into the ash. The prophet who saves humanity by ensuring that nobody, including himself, will be remembered for saving it. Fersengeld published his book at his own expense. He lost money doing it. He wrote in a language he didn't speak, for an audience he didn't believe would listen, making a case that ends with the instruction to destroy the very case he just made. He was, in his own strange way, the most honest man in the room. Pericalypsis is a fake book, written by a fake author, reviewed by Stanisław Lem in his 1971 collection, A Perfect Vacuum, a book made entirely of reviews of books that don't exist, which means that Lem himself, the real author, built his career on exactly the kind of superabundant, packaged, commercially distributed creative work that Fersengeld wanted to abolish. He knew the joke was on him too. That's what makes it literature.